Welcome to our 5 on 5. I'm pleased to be joined in studio today by Senator Jeff Merkley. Senator, good to see you.
It is great to see you. Good to be here.
So you held town halls in Coos, Curry, and Douglas County yesterday. You're holding them here in Jackson, Josephine County later today as we record this interview Sunday morning. What did you hear from constituents yesterday that surprised you?
Well, I tell you, everywhere you go in the state, there's different dimensions of the struggle for affordable housing and for mental health, just the reverberating impacts of COVID.
Did you hear anything so far that you plan to take action on when you return to Washington?
Oh, absolutely. These issues, and both of those issues, are ones that I can fight for more resources for. I can fight to get community-initiated projects funded through the Appropriations Committee that deal with housing and deal with mental health, but also for the big programs that can help everywhere in every corner of our state and every corner of America. Congress has to realize that and recognize and take on these challenges that are haunting the American public.
The Port of Coos Bay's critical shipping container project was denied I believe it's called a mega grant late last month. It sounds like long-term, though, this isn't quite dead. What can you say about that?
It is not dead. This is a poster child for the mega grant program. We saved, when I was in the state legislature, the railroad that goes clear across from Coos Bay into the Willamette Valley, connecting to I-5 and the rail lines there and the highway lines. And this challenge of having more port capacity is something of national significance. We have seen the challenge of our ports being overwhelmed. So this would result in some 2,500 good-paying jobs, permanent jobs, after the great construction jobs. I think it's an absolute win-win for what the mega grants were designed for.
A Chinese surveillance balloon flew over the U.S. this week, making a lot of headlines, of course. What should we be doing about this? This
was the most bizarre story of our early year. And what is China up to? And where do they inflate these balloons? Did they send them clear from China? We're going to discover from the one we shot down really what it's up to. It's carrying a lot of solar panels underneath and electronics. And I must say, it's another aspect of China's very aggressive role in the world, where they are basically enslaving the millions of Uyghurs in their home state. They broke their deal with Hong Kong to protect democracy there. They're developing military to take over Taiwan. They're building islands in the South China Sea, violating international law of the sea. So many aspects. We need to be very aware, very conscious of both their arc of their journey on human rights, but also their projection of power that's having a big impact and not a positive impact on the world.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll have much more with Senator Merkley in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Senator Jeff Merkley. Senator, the U.S. and some European countries now sending Ukraine tanks in their fight against Russia. Is that a good thing?
Absolutely. What we have with Putin, who is a KGB agent, and is an absolute dictator, who is crushing rights of assembly and speech and fair voting in his country, he's trying to crush a neighboring republic that has fought time and time again to defend their freedoms. And we have to stand with Ukraine in this battle. We cannot allow Russia to crush them. They are carrying the fight themselves. Our soldiers nowhere near the ground, if you will. But they are determined, and we must be determined to help them.
2024 seems to be coming up fast. Do you hope President Biden runs for re-election?
Well, I always hope for a vigorous debate over the policies that will really serve America on housing, on health care, and certainly on climate.
Should Oregonians expect anything to be accomplished in Congress this year in these hyper-partisan times?
Well, we are expecting to have a bipartisan discussion of the agricultural bill and of the defense authorization bill. And we're hoping that we can address the issue that has been hovering, the debt ceiling issue, and also the spending bills for the next fiscal year, so we don't end up shutting down the government. So there's several possibilities for good bipartisan work, and maybe we'll exceed expectations, because expectations are pretty low.
Senator, I know you're hitting a lot of counties this weekend. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much.
A pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
We'll be right back.